Hello, St. Patrick's and friends of St. Patrick's. I'm running some errands today, but as I was doing so, it got me thinking about this Sunday. We're looking at a passage from the Gospel of Luke called "The Dishonest Manager," a parable that I don't think I've ever preached on. But one of the things that comes to the mind as you read this parable and you hear it is the tools of the world that's available for our use and what we should do with them. And Jesus, in a very curious way, commends the man the man is commended, I guess is a better way to say it, in the parable for his shrewdness. Though what he does and what he uses, you and I might balk at. And is this parable saying that like the tools available to us, the worldly tools available to us, we can use as we see fit, as long as they bring, the right thing in the end? And I don't think what he's saying is that, if I'm honest. And I don't think that's a proper reading of the parable. And we'll dive into that this Sunday. But the thing that comes to mind as far as a recent tool in our world that I think we need to be wary of and consider before we just dive in headlong is this idea of, or this thing that's becoming very popular called AI, artificial intelligence, what it can do. Recently, I was reading an article and it was talking about this thing called a grief bot. And it's this, essentially, it's this AI program that can regurgitate in a text field things that your long dead grandpa may have said to interact with you, so that you can, kind of interact with your long passed away loved one. What does that do to and I don't mean to laugh, what does that do to the person who is grieving, who is without their loved one? What are we doing when we just dive into something like that? I think the tools of this world need to be weighed and measured heavily before we just dive into using them. What is Jesus commending in the first place, or having commended in the parable? What is he trying to encourage us to do? I was sharing something with somebody recently that it felt like AI feels different than almost any other technology we have encountered up to this point. And we are in a season of the history of the world where technology is advancing more rapidly than I think we know how to deal with. It comes so quickly that there isn't much time to ask and answer the question, should we be using this? How should we be using this? I think it's a discussion, by the way, that I don't think we can address in one little quick video blog or even on a Sunday morning sermon, but an ongoing thing we need to think about. But my caution here is to think long and hard about these newer technologies and what they might do to an individual, to a disciple, to a Christian, to a human being, whether it would be smart tablets or artificial intelligence or mobile phones in your pocket. I'm not suggesting we become Amish, but I am suggesting that you and I prayerfully consider what it might mean and think through it. We're going to talk more on Sunday about it. Invite a friend. We've got Come and See coming up in a couple of Sundays, and it promises to be a much better weekend as far as weather. Pray that it's clear and sunny, but either way, we're going to have an amazing time. We love you guys. We've been praying for you this week and for the church as a whole. If you need anything, please reach out, and we'll hope to see you soon. God bless.